Hey, good morning, Vinyl community. Alex here, and I'm back to do a thread response today, actually. It's been a while since I've done a thread response. I don't think I've actually done one this year, which is kind of crazy because, last year I answered so many of these and, really enjoyed doing it. So, yeah, this year's been kind of different. I mean, as I've said, I've fallen out of touch with the community a little bit. Especially as far as these threads go. I just haven't had the time to answer a lot of them, but there's been some great ones being put up all the time. Some great contests, and that's one thing I've kind of missed out on this year is some great contest opportunities. So I wanted to get my response up to this one pretty quickly. This is Invader of Your Heart's 150 subscriber contest, Gus. And congratulations on the 150. Very well deserved. Absolutely love your videos. I mean, you have an amazing sense of humor. I mean, I think that's what you're kind of renowned for in the community, which is awesome. And then the records you show and the music you talk about is always top notch. So yeah, seriously, well done on the 150, and I hope you keep gaining subscribers and keep making videos, because I absolutely love every video you put up is always entertaining to watch, and normally contains some great records. So yeah, well done, Gus, and wanted to answer your questions. Enjoyed them all. I thought it was a great thread, and yeah, gonna go ahead and do that. Playing in the background is this record, as you can hear, Radiohead, The King of Limbs. Been a while since I've spun this, actually. Played it last year. Got it last year. And it wasn't a record that I fell in love with immediately. I mean, it took me a while to get into this record, as I think it did for a lot of people. Certainly not their best record. Very, very short. But yeah, I think it's a very solid record, actually, after listening to it a few more times. It's a very enjoyable album. I mean, I never find myself getting bored listening to Radiohead, ever. So yeah, thought I'd put that on for a change. And yeah, let's get straight into the first question, which was one record which makes you happy and sad at the same time. Great question, but this one was quite hard to kind of pick a record for. To kind of narrow it down to one record was pretty tough. But I wanted to show this one. I could have picked some Dylan albums that kind of do that, as well as some Beatles records and Beach Boys and stuff, but I didn't want to be obvious about it, and that would have been obvious, so ended up picking this one, and I thought this fitted the bill quite nicely. This is Fleet Foxes, obviously Helplessness Blues, their sophomore LP from last year, and certainly one of my favourite records of last year. I mean, if you take out PJ Harvey's record, Let England Shake, and maybe Kurt Weill's album, this would probably be my favourite record of last year, hands down. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, I think it's miles better than their first album, even though I like that one as well. I thought this one was just head and shoulders above that, and played it so many times since getting it. About a year ago now, I think I got this, and I've played it probably over 15 times, certainly. Had a chance to really absorb this music, and it's certainly music that you have to sit down and listen to, I find. I don't think you can put this on in the background, and if you do, I don't think you're getting the most from it. It is a record that requires concentration if you want to get the most out of it, and I think that's part of what makes it one of those records which really strikes up so many kind of emotions in me. And listening to this record is almost like going on a journey. I go through so many different mood swings when listening to this, that I thought it kind of fitted the question quite well. And I guess it's kind of a combination of the lyrics and the music, but I think the musicality on this especially is paramount to its kind of impact on me. It's a very intricate album. I mean, on the surface it doesn't really appear that way. It's a kind of folk record, kind of experimental folk music, but there's a lot of different things going on with the music on this. It's a very intricate record, as I said, and I think that's part of what makes causes it to strike up these emotions in me and strike different chords. Of course, there's the lyrical aspect as well, which does that too, to a certain extent. Love some of the lines on this that kind of make me feel happy and sad at the same time. It's a hard thing to kind of put into words of kind of why it does that. But I think this record just does that in general on most of the songs. I find myself being really uplifted at times, and then kind of a couple of minutes later I'll be feeling kind of down and sad and reflective, and that's not really a bad thing, feeling sad listening to this music. It's just kind of an emotional listen, I guess, and I thought it kind of fitted the question quite well. And if you haven't got this already, then you need to pick it up. I mean, I think a vinyl copy is definitely the recommended format for this, because I don't think a low bitrate download is going to do the album justice, because, as I say, it's very, very intricate, very fine detail on the musical side of things. So definitely pick up that record if you haven't got it. So moving on to question 2, and I think the question was, pick one album which you bought solely for the cover, because you like the cover. And this was a difficult one because I don't really buy records based on the cover. I don't just go into a record store and say, I like the cover on that one, I'm just going to pick it up, because I'm so short of money, I can't really afford to do that, I guess. But the cover definitely does play a part in my record buying. It's it doesn't so much if I'm downloading an album, or buying a CD. It's not quite as important. But for this question, I just picked out this record because I didn't know too much about this band before buying this. I was very new to vinyl, very new to this music. I didn't really know anything about this band. I think I saw Dan in Canada show it first, and he said good things about it. But apart from that, I hadn't heard anything else from them. And I just saw the cover in the record store, and it just kind of took my attention. I couldn't really take my eyes off it, and ended up buying it. And the album is Mogwai's Hardcore Will Never Die But You Will, a Scottish post-rock band. This was released at the start of last year, I think. And yeah, I just absolutely love the cover on this. As you can see, kind of like a cityscape thing going on. Just beautiful artwork. This is one of my favourite covers of last year for sure. Gatefold is just beautiful. And the back is the same, the inner sleeves. And I think after listening to the music, I think that the cover is a great representation of the music, if you know what I mean. It kind of, the cityscape and the kind of desolate feel of things, I guess, is kind of, it kind of surfaces in the music, I find, and I just absolutely love the cover. I think it's just really nice. And nice to have a really high resolution photo there on the cover as well. So that's the one I picked for that question. Third question was your favourite New York band. And I had to kind of go, I think I had to Google it in the end, because I don't know, a lot of the bands I'm into, I don't really know where they originated, I guess, especially American bands, because obviously I'm from the UK. So I had to kind of Google it, find out some bands that were from New York, and obviously there are New York bands that I really do love, and I couldn't look past this band, I'm afraid. I mean, it's quite a cliche thing to pick, quite a cliche band to pick, I guess. Quite a mainstream band to pick, but yeah, I couldn't look past, of course, the Velvet Underground. Just an amazing band, of course, one of my favourite bands of all time. Originated in, I think, 66, 65, 66, obviously in Andy Warhol's factory. They were kind of the entertainment. I think at the start they were used as kind of entertainment for the people working in the factory, and just an amazing scene. It fascinates me to kind of learn about the whole scene, not just the music scene with the Velvet Underground, but also, just the factory scene in general with Andy Warhol and Edie Sedgwick and Nico and all those people. And Velvet Underground, you can't fault them. one of the most influential bands in history for sure. This is my favourite record from them. I mean, it's a close call between this and their self-titled from 1969, but I think this one has to take it. I mean, it's just so iconic. All the tracks on this I just love. I love the kind of dissonance on this, the kind of the noisiness of it, it's a very, very muddy production, and it's just so raw, so electric, and I never get bored of listening to this. I've listened to it so many times now, and it never even gets close to being boring to listen to. So, and obviously got some classic tracks like Heroin and All Tomorrow's Parties and Femme Fatale and Run 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 and all those great tracks. And the Velvet Underground, you can't fault them really. I don't really need to say anything else. So yeah, they're my favourite New York band. Moving quickly on to the final question was favourite band's solo work, and I think I know what he means by that. So I picked out this album. Again, pretty obvious choice, and yeah, just great record. John Lennon's Imagine from 1972, I think, 1972, and yeah, obviously John Lennon from the Beatles, and yeah, John Lennon was definitely my favourite solo Beatle after the Beatles split up. I think, I'm not a big fan of what Paul McCartney did after the Beatles with his solo records and then the work he did with Wings. I mean, I like Wings, I like some of their records like Band on the Run, but I just think John Lennon's solo work is far superior, and this record is a perfect example of that. His first two solo records, I think, are very, very nip and tuck in terms of which one I like more. Plastic Ono Band is an amazing record, don't get me wrong, but I think this one is just more iconic, more influential, and I think the tracks are just slightly more solid on this record. And obviously the title track, Imagine, is amazing. I mean, it's one of those songs that kind of changed the world, or had the potential to change the world. Just speaks volumes about everything, from society and where the world was in the early 70s. And obviously John Lennon was becoming increasingly politically active at this time. He was he was a big player at this time in terms of getting his political hat on and just trying to kind of make the world a better place, and this is a record that sums that up. But it's not just the kind of political songs like Imagine that kind of draw me into this record. That all of them are amazing. I liked Give Me Some Truth is a great song. Jealous Guy is I think a song that he wrote in reply to his 1965 song Run For Your Life. He once said that he really regretted writing Run For Your Life because it was a really, really mean song. It was a very, very rude song in to some degree, and he felt bad about writing that song. I don't know who it was written about or who it was supposed to be written about, but Jealous Guy is a kind of a song that's written to kind of remedy that and to clear his conscience, I guess. And it's just an amazing song, very, very emotional to listen to. And just all the tracks on this, from start to finish, it's just a very, very solid record. And I think, after releasing this, I don't think he ever quite reached the same level again musically. He went off in different directions, and obviously tragically perished in 1980. It was it still makes me sad just thinking about that. I mean, I wasn't even alive, but just thinking about the manner in which he was killed is still heartbreaking, I guess. And I just still love listening to this and kind of remembering what he was all about, remembering what he stood for, and remembering the kind of great music that he made. So this was the record I picked for that question, and I hope that's that's an adequate response, Gus. Just wanted to get back on here and answer these questions. Thought they were really good questions. So yeah, well done on the 150, and yeah, hope that's entered me into the contest. And yeah, keep doing what you're doing, because really enjoying, you know, all the videos you put up. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.